Hello and welcome back. George, can you hear me? I'm just going to do a technical check.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. That was an awesome intro, man. I feel like I'm at the movies.
You know what? Like with anything technical wise, with me today, everything is failing, but obviously it's working your end, which is great. But welcome back to another live show. And we've got a new co host. We've got George from Meet Me for Coffee, the podcast. And you're also on YouTube now, George.
Yeah, absolutely. We just started that up about 20 episodes in, just posting up the interviews. I started actually recording the video portion of the chats more recently, and I've had some pretty big actors. Kim Coates, you've had him on your show.
Yeah, he's
Michael
awesome.
Michael Mando from Better Call Saul, and a few other projects. Some rock stars, entrepreneurs. So a bit of a variation of your show, but almost completely different because every week I have somebody different in a different maybe industry, and you're more focused on the showbiz world, the film, the TV, and I like doing that. But I also like my rock and roll, as you know. I did a rock and roll show
Yeah.
before, and so I like to mix that up and have some fun with those guys too.
You know what I've got to say, George. What I enjoy about your show is how varied it is, and you've had some awesome people, absolutely awesome. You've had the woman that invented that app. Was it Chatter? Was it
365.
365? Yeah, and and you've got obviously a new guest coming very very soon, ready for Halloween. Who is that, George?
His name is C.J. Graham, and if you remember the Friday the 13th movies, there's a part 6 called Jason Lives. He's Jason Voorhees in the flesh, and it's pretty cool because being casted in that role, it was an amazing opportunity for the guy. He had that one pivotal role in that movie, and here we are, maybe decades later, and people still they love this guy. Of course, he's an old U.S. veteran as well, Army veteran. But that's not the only surprise I have coming up. That's my Halloween show, but I got some more creepy stuff with stars from The Walking Dead. But you've heard that here first. I haven't announced to anybody. I'm not even going to tell you who it is. Although I'm pretty sure you know who it is. It's kind of hard to keep it under wraps. I made a poster a couple nights ago, and it's like, do I promote this or do I just let it be?
You've got to promote it. You've got to promote it. You've got to get the fans involved and get them juiced up, ready for the interview, because everyone's a Walking Dead fan. Everyone
absolutely. And you know what? Being this guy is a character that was actually in the comic books, which I've kind of come to realize some of the roles in the show are almost made up, right? So there's the actual characters, and this guy actually played one of the main characters, and a lot of people were very excited for him to come to screen finally. And he talked about going to like Comic-Con or Walker Slasher Con, those big fantasy conventions, and he's like, it's so amazing because this actor in particular is very talented. He actually he acted in the movie with The Rock that's coming out. It's been delayed a few times. It's called the Jungle Cruise, I believe. So maybe if you scroll around on that guy's IMDb or that movie's IMDb, you'll find out who I'm talking about. But that's just one clue. But yeah, you're right. I should promote it, but I just don't want to promote it now when I'm pitching C.J. Graham. I'm going to take my time.
Yeah, okay, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. That's a good point. So, have you always been a fan of the horror?
Well, I like The Exorcist. I liked watching that first couple times because my mother would always tell me it was so scary, and it's like, this is not scary at all. Maybe scary if it happened to me, being the priest or being someone. But although there was a movie called The Last Exorcism, I believe. What I think about the other day, how funny it was because this guy, he go perform fake exorcisms, and ended up he actually would make money off it. He scam people, and then eventually he ended up doing an actual exorcism. Had no idea what to do, and I think it's The Last Exorcism, or I've got to figure it out because it's just so funny.
Yeah, I mean, what I was going to say about the Exorcist house, I've actually been to where they actually filmed it, And I've got to say, it is the creepiest place. It really, really is, because what people don't realize is that the house that you see in the poster is fake. Literally, half that house isn't real, and it's such a creepy place at night. And the steps, going down the steps, but opposite is where they filmed Elmo's Fire as well.
St. Elmo's
Um,
Fire.
yeah, which, of course, where I live, about 2 minutes up the road, is the guy that did the lead song for it.
Oh, who's that?
St. Elmo's Fire. Oh, what's his name? That's a good point. Now you threw me. I can't remember his name now, but he's from Worksop. I've been trying to get him on the show desperately, but you know what it's like, George. You ask these guests, and some come back, some don't. But yeah, really excited for that episode.
Some actors, like, you reach out to them, or people in the show business, and they don't get back to you. And I just figured out more recently that in order for them to be in contact with you, especially on social media platforms, they have to follow you back so they can see the messages.
Yep.
And the rest is all just pounding pavement. Facebook DMs work. Instagram is a very good opportunity for anyone who wants to get in touch with some actors that aren't super, super big, and get them on their show,
So yeah, with my show, I've just I was telling you the other day that I made a massive clanger, because obviously our clocks go past back an hour on Sunday just gone, and I was interviewing Randall Kleiser, who directed Grease and Flight of the Navigator, White Fang,
Wow.
The Blue Lagoon. And do you know what? It was such a delight to interview. But I was having my tea, having my dinner. You would say, I presume. Do you say tea or dinner? You know, the evening meal that you have.
Do you drink tea? Like, people from England actually
No,
drink tea before?
no.
I'm from Canada, man. Like, I just drink coffee and
So
beer.
so the meal that you have at night, what do you call it?
Dinner.
Dinner. So we call it tea. I know it's really odd.
Tea.
So we have dinner at lunch, which is really weird, and then we have tea at dinner time. So I was having my tea at 6 o'clock, and my notification on my phone went ping. Randall is in your Zoom meeting, and then it just dawned on me that the clocks had gone back. I ran to the studio, turned everything on. I was panicking, and luckily he came on an hour later. But yeah, yeah, it was awful. Absolutely
Hey,
awful
it happens to the
experience.
best of us. Sometimes I had one a few months ago where I planned out the interview and I scheduled it on Zoom, and then I couldn't get into Zoom. Zoom would not launch for me, so I lost out on that. I mean, in this business, like, you have the one aspect of chasing that next guest, trying to get into contact with someone who knows him or someone who can book him, and then after that, well, it's all on us. There's always the technical difficulties on our end. So being a podcaster and someone who wants to do this seriously is can be tricky sometimes, and it can really mess with your head because you're trying to balance your family life, and you're trying to balance your actual life, and this show, right? So I really appreciate you having me on the show. I know we've been talking for quite some time, and
we've known each other for ages,
yeah.
Because believe it or not, I came to you when I started out my podcast, and we started chatting, didn't we?
Absolutely.
Because I was new to it, and obviously the friendship blossomed from there, as they say. But no, you're right. Balancing life with work and the podcast can be quite difficult. But the fun thing is, you're on YouTube as well, so everyone can actually see all your interviews in full color, which is
Absolutely.
absolutely awesome. So obviously on the show we talk about everything entertainment wise, entertainment news in from the past week. I mean, obviously, COVID is still making a massive impact on everything entertainment wise. How is everything in Canada? I mean, whereabouts are you in Canada? Is it on
So I'm just outside of Toronto, Ontario,
Toronto?
or Toronto,
Yeah.
or Toronto. Whatever. People say that they don't pronounce that. Pronounce that last T as Toronto. That's
Toronto.
how the native Torontonians Torontonia. I don't
Yeah.
know how you would say that. Say it, but COVID it's become very, very serious, and we have testing. We've ramped up testing. People are going crazy to get tested because now, in order to go back to work in some office spaces or businesses, you have to go get a test and figure out if you're sick or not. And a lot of people are going into some hard times, and that's why a podcast right now is very good because a lot of people are looking for that extra outlet to sit back and just listen and hear something new. And well, here we are on the Be More Super podcast.
Yeah. And obviously with the entertainment world and COVID, MGM Studios are absolutely having a horrible time at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
one movie. I went to see 1917. That was okay, so that was last January. And I
Yes.
saw ever since Daniel Craig became the James Bond or James Bond, I was always fascinated with his movies. They're so good, right? He's such a great actor.
Yeah.
And that trailer for No Time to Die playing is like, I got to go see that in May. Like I was going to have at that point in January, my son was to be born in February. So I knew COVID was in the air, but our government didn't really pay attention too much. They just kind of downplayed it until it all exploded in our faces. But but I was looking forward to seeing it. And now it's getting pushed off to 2021 after being pushed off again. And MGM is kind of freaking out because first off, the producers, the investors. So there's the studio that puts on the whole production of the movie, but before that, there are investors. So in order to make a $250 million movie, the studio doesn't have that money. They have to go find investors and producers, Steven Spielberg, whatever, to put the money in. And when that happens, like when you see Daniel Craig's name on the producing credits, he may have put some money in. So, or they just gave him credit. But apparently MGM is losing $1 million a month while this movie's sitting on the shelf. And that's because, well, there's investors that need their money back, and that's just interest, $1 million interest a month, because they need to pay it back. They need to pay it back ASAP. They tried pitching it to Netflix and Amazon and whatever, but the makers of the James Bond film say that it could devalue the James Bond brand. And I kind of think about it this way. It could devalue major films in general, because now once you put a major production like James Bond on Netflix or on Amazon or Hulu, it becomes a groundbreaking kind of thing where now every movie is going to go there, right? So again, cinemas are going to close or do a lot worse than they're doing now, and it'll be another thing for you to stay in your house for. And the money's not made as not as much money is being made to have your movie on Netflix than it is to have it out in the cinemas, because going out to a movie, you have to pay your $15 or $20 to see it in 3D or something like that. So it could really have a big downfall on the movie industry. I almost say music industry, but that also works too. But yeah, you understand what I mean, right? Like they're trying to get the money back. They got to figure out a way not to devalue the brand, and it could be a big catastrophic thing for the movie industry, especially for a great franchise like James Bond. Those movies are meant to see, like Star Wars, on a massive scale screen, maybe in IMAX. It's so good.
Yeah. I mean, for me, movies like that, I would only want to see on an IMAX. I
Absolutely.
would only want to see in the cinema. It's like Maverick that's been delayed, which is I can't wait for Maverick to come out, because Top Gun for me was just unbelievable. But yeah, I mean, the thing is though, if they put it on streaming, that's great. But how many people are going to complain about having to pay for it? I mean, we saw what happened with Mulan on Disney Plus, and I don't see anything wrong with it. But then I suppose we've got to think about these cinemas that, are closing or closed. But I suppose MGM needs to claw that money back, because it's a massive gamble, the amount of money they've spent on it, and it's just sitting there not doing anything. They need that money back in, don't they, to give to the investors and to carry on making great movies, because because people are going back to work now, slowly but surely.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, it'll all play itself out. By the way, Disney Plus for me didn't really play out too well because, well, the content wasn't really there for me. I was expecting because
Yeah.
they bought out Fox, they would have more.
Mm.
Because I'm more into those other shows that were on the Fox network that they took
Yeah.
off of Netflix. Because Netflix originally had a bunch of these series, and now they pulled them off. But I don't know where they're going. Like
Mm.
Married with Children, and this and that. But yeah, Disney Plus didn't really cut it for me. The Mulan thing was like 30. How much did it cost to get to watch that movie?
I think it was about 19.99. So £20.
Holy
So
cow!
to me, that isn't that bad. I mean, I took the kids and the family to the cinema. We went to the IMAX, and it was my 3-year-old's first experience, and it cost us 70 odd pounds for tickets alone. So if you think 20 pounds or 70 odd pounds, especially in the situation we're in right now, and then you've got to bring in the cost of popcorn and drinks that are overpriced the best of times. So I don't know. I mean, I'll be disappointed if they do give it to Apple, or well, they won't give it to Netflix because surely Netflix can't afford a Bond movie premiere because obviously they don't charge. So it'll have to be Apple or Amazon or someone like that.
Well, I mean, the industry has really changed. People
Mm.
like to go to the movies to see those big franchises. And when we talk about franchises, I mean Star Wars, James
Mm.
Bond, Indiana Jones.
Wonder Woman that's coming out, and I just, you know what, I just hope to the people above that we don't lose these movies and they don't disappear and they don't just go to streaming. I really do. But yeah, we were talking earlier on about Borat as well, because Borat is coming out,
Oh, it
and
already came out. Is it out in the UK yet?
I think it's tomorrow. It comes out in the UK.
Okay. Well, here in Canada, it
Yeah,
came out this past Friday, and I had a chance to see it. Um, the thing is about Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen could not go out in public and play Borat without getting
yeah,
recognized, and he displayed that in the movie. So he had to have different disguises, and well, it all played out okay. I mean, it wasn't as good as the first one, and it's not
yeah,
anywhere as good as the original Borat during the Ali G show, or that was the golden age of Sacha Baron Cohen.
yeah,
Being Borat and Ali G and Bruno on his own show. I would definitely recommend checking that out if you haven't. Yeah, it's probably around on one of your streaming services somewhere. But Borat 2, I recommend checking it out. If you've seen the first one, don't have your hopes up too much. But I'm a big Borat fan, right? I'm the guy
yeah,
who was watching Borat before anyone else, and having good laughs about it. Downloading it on
yeah,
my computer when I was a younger guy, and Borat is funny. There's some very good skits, and I like Ali G too. Ali G, you've
yeah,
watched Ali G too.
yeah. Of course, yeah,
He's so funny, right? Some of the skits are really funny. Like he gets interviews. Like for example, in Borat, he got an interview with Rudy Giuliani in this
mm,
most recent one, and there's a big scandal over this whole thing because I guess his 15-year-old daughter in the movie was actually like in the room having an interview with Rudy Giuliani. He tried putting his hands down his pants, but I guess that's not. It got kind of portrayed that way because
yeah,
Rudy Giuliani, like he had a mic. In showbiz, you put a mic almost like in the bottom of your belt, and you run it up your shirt. So trying to bring that out and take it out after the interview and tuck your shirt back in is can be pretty tricky. So I mean, lying on the bed is okay. I don't know what happened, but I'm just kind
yeah.
of I'm thinking about it because I've been in that position too, right? Trying to fix my my shirt. But
The
yeah,
thing is, what I don't get, surely he had to sign a release form for the show. He's got to sign a release form for the film. So
yeah.
surely, how can he then take them to court for something he's allowed them to do? I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't really know the whole parameters behind that. I guess
Mm,
his security details searched the whole residence there for for Borat, and they couldn't even find Sacha Baron Cohen anywhere. So it's kind of funny. It's so funny.
But you know what? He is so intelligent. He's such an intelligent man. He really, really is. I mean, I think he did. He went to Oxford or somewhere like that and did history, and then he's gone into this. I just think he's astonishing. He really is. But the great thing is that in a recent speech that's been all over the internet, he talks about obviously these shows like Borat and Bruno. The aim isn't to make people look stupid. The aim is to highlight people's characters. You know what I mean? Sort of, not to make fun of them, but to be, to build awareness around the reactions that
Absolutely.
these characters get, and how, I mean, the first Borat, was when he goes to the rodeo. I just think is awesome,
It's
and
pretty groundbreaking, actually. And
yeah,
uh,
and it just shows, what some people, can be like.
absolutely, and he's such a great actor. He acted in this one series. It was about this Israeli spy called. It was called The Spy,
Oh,
actually. So good,
awesome,
so good.
awesome.
I loved it. I mean, obviously, I ended up watching it all by myself, but it was. It's one of those movies. It's one of those. It was one of those times where you're trying to watch it with your wife, and then she ends up just leaving, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll just watch the rest of it. And
Yeah.
well, that's right, Paul. Yeah, he is a legend.
He's a legend.
Yeah,
Legend.
legend, legend.
Legend, Paul. Legend, Paul. I think it's the way he speaks.
We Coens are so smart.
Oh, dear. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think you've got to pay for it, haven't you? It's not free on Amazon. I think you've got to
It's
pay.
free. It's free. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't pay for Amazon Prime Video. So the way I work it is that I pay for something, and like my family is pretty big, so we have different streaming services, and we can all go into it and watch it. But Amazon's quite cool because you can buy there's different networks, and they each have their own outlets. So MGM has their own channel
Yeah.
that you can go into, and there's their own streaming service. I don't know why they just don't put it on there, the James
Yeah.
Bond movie. But yeah, Amazon's pretty cool. But
Mm.
yeah, like it's free on Amazon Prime, Prime Video, wherever. I think it's Prime Video. And you know what? It's worth a watch if you have an hour and a half to just see what kind of stunts he pulls off. And
Mm.
Borat, he won't let you down, but it's not as good as the first one. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, also, in entertainment news as well is Batwoman, because that's making a comeback. Ruby Rose is no longer Batwoman, and now they've got a replacement for her, and the costume's been modified. What do you think? Have you seen any images, anything around the show that you've got an opinion about?
The costume for me was actually not that bad.
Mm.
Obviously, the woman's got to have her hair out somewhere, but
Well, her hair's everywhere.
yeah. So
Awesome.
to being a superhero is not allowing people to know who you are. And
Mm.
with the hair that woman's got, or girl, or Batwoman, or has got coming out of her costume, she can be tracked down pretty fast, right? So she's got like the red highlights, and she's got the frizzy hair. So not a lot of people have that. But it's just
Yeah.
so hard because like every couple of years they try and remake something, right?
Yeah.
Remaking the Batman thing. The Flash was an okay series. Gotham was okay. Um,
Yeah.
it just always kind of recycling everything. I want to see something new. I want to see a show on Nightcrawler or something like that. That'd be
Mm.
really cool. Or Nighthawk.
Well, Titans is coming back as well, isn't it? For its third
Okay.
third season, which I absolutely loved. I thought it was great, and obviously, The Boys has just finished season 2, so we've got The Boys season 3 to look forward to in the new year, which I've got to say, when I first saw the series, to be fair, I was late to the party with the boys. Have you seen it? Have you
You know,
watched any of it?
I'm seeing a lot of these advertisements for it on TV now.
Oh, you got to watch it.
I started watching it. You know what? It's pretty good, but I haven't got really deep into it. You know, having
Yeah.
children and you know they want to watch this or whatever.
Oh,
They're watching like Scream Queens and we were watching that '70s show for quite some time. And, you know, stuff. I just
yeah.
want to show them some cool stuff. But now we're watching The Walking Dead. Um,
Wow. Wow. What your kids are?
well, one is 12 and one is
Ah, yeah.
9. So, and I have
No, yeah, it's
a
funny.
9-month-year-old, but he just likes SpongeBob, so it gets kind of annoying after a while. So,
Well, the thing is, the Walking Dead is got a lot less gruesome over the years. When it first started out, it was quite graphic. Now it's not that graphic, to be fair. But no, and then other news as well. I don't know if you're looking forward to the Snyder Cut. You know, for
Snyder
Justice
Cut.
League. Yeah, the Snyder Cut. So Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League is coming out on HBO Max. So we see everyone back: Wonder Woman, Superman, and then we see Deathstroke as well, which is going to be absolutely amazing. Because see if I get this name right, Joe Manganiello.
Okay.
Joe Magnanello. I'm rubbish with names, George. I really am. But he was teased at the end of the theatrical cut of Justice League, and apparently he's been brought back for reshoots, which is awesome. And a bit of advanced news is coming on my show in December.
Oh
So I'm
no.
really excited because he was in True Blood, and he's been in lots of other things. So I better start getting his name right because obviously he's coming on the show
That's
in
awesome.
December.
Congratulations.
I know.
It,
To be fair, when I found out that he'd agreed to come on the show, and then I saw that, I got even more excited because he's going to be in the Justice League. You know, I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
you're a big fantasy comic buff too, so it's
Yeah. Right. I'll tell you this. Right. Comics, I'm not that into. Believe it or not, I'm not that into comics, and it shocks a lot of people because I'm massively into Superman. But for me, the original Superman movie with Christopher Reeve was the thing that started it all for me. And I think that everyone likes a superhero. Everyone likes, you know, escaping and watching Wonder Woman or Green Lantern. Everyone puts it down with Ryan Reynolds, but I thought it was all right. But
yeah.
you know, I'm not that into Green Lantern to have a proper opinion, I suppose.
I'm more of a Batman fan. Like I like the Spider-Man thing. I thought it was okay with Tobey Maguire, and then they went and changed it. Although the new kid seems okay. I mean, it was a
Yeah.
decent. The Homecoming movie was actually pretty decent.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like it's pretty cool to have these people who are on these shows, and it's very big for them too. Like talking to someone
Mm.
who's from an episode, maybe just a couple episodes of The Mandalorian. Dominic Pace, he was a
Oh,
Geeko. Just a small role.
yeah,
It works magnitudes for them, right? So,
yeah,
um, and eventually they'll be able to go to different Comic Cons and whatever. So it's a great career move, and I think this
yeah.
show, the Justice League thing, is going to be awesome. I know HBO
Mm.
put some great products out there and great content,
Mm.
and yeah, Deadpool all the way. That's right, Mark. Um, I really enjoyed Deadpool, but let's tie this Deadpool thing into something else. So
Yep.
Simon Kinberg is going to be doing a rewrite of Battlestar Galactica, and he originally one of the
Mm.
films he worked on were actually I think it was all the X-Men he worked on, right?
Yeah,
Um, so he did X-Men, Logan, Fantastic Four, Deadpool
yeah.
2. See, we tied it in, Mark.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think? The whole they want to make Battlestar Galactica
Yeah.
into a franchise film kind of thing, and I know it's
Do you
been
know what?
tried.
Yeah, I mean the thing is the original back with Benedict, you know, back in the 70s, I thought was absolutely wonderful. That was my childhood, and then obviously you had the reincarnation with the series with Katie, and Jamie Borber Bamber as well on it. And I actually love that series. I love the recent series on Sci-Fi. If done right, I think it's going to be awesome.
Well,
I
you
mean,
got you
I
got to
just
have
love.
a guy who's actually um, good at this stuff, right? The X-Men,
Mm,
Logan, Fantastic Four. He worked on Legion too for like 27 episodes of the
yeah.
TV show. So he has a good success rate. He's a great track record. I'm sure it'll be
Mm.
awesome. There's a
Yeah,
lot of there's a lot
they've
of
got to
there's a
keep
lot of
it.
directors that go out. Sorry, there's a lot of directors and producers
Yeah,
that go out there and they just completely ruin everything.
yeah.
But this seems like it could be great because the
Mm.
guy's track record. What actually it might be a perfect fit because they want to make this into like a franchise thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I just don't want it to look like another X-Men movie. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that feel. It needs to be true to Battlestar Galactica. And when they remade the series, I think, what they did with it and the way they shot it, especially the scenes where you saw, the ships and the way they did the camera work and the way it focused in, it just made it seem a lot more real. So I just hope it doesn't fall into Dark Phoenix, you know, territory, and it doesn't get ruined that way. Because I think that when you've got a franchise like Battlestar Galactica that could easily turn into one, two, three, four movies if it's done correctly.
What are
But
some other franchises that you think could be a movie?
Thundercats.
Okay. All
Uh,
right. Yeah.
I
Yeah, I would
always want
agree.
to see Thundercats. You know what? I don't know. What movies? What series?
What about something weird like Captain Planet or something like that?
Oh, Captain Planet. Oh my
Yeah.
days. That is going back some years. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, science fiction, I think that, I think we're saturated with science fiction at the moment. I mean, with The Expanse starting back in December, with their new season, and everything's science fiction at the moment. I quite like gritty programs. So, like on Apple TV at the moment, I've just been watching C with Jason Momoa. I don't know if you've seen
I've
that
heard
yet,
I've
but
heard of it.
it's
Actually, he was in my neck of the woods a couple of weeks ago. I tried getting in
was
contact
he?
with him, but no, that's a big stone wall right there. But
The police got in the way.
yeah,
Issued you with a restraining order. No, but no, it's awesome. It's basically about like the world hundreds and hundreds of years in the future, and everyone's blind. And then
wow,
obviously a woman gives birth to these two children, and they can see. And it's just awesome how they do it. Absolutely awesome. And Alex Ponovic's in it. The cast is absolutely phenomenal. And then another one is For All Mankind, which is based on the moon landing in the 60s, and it's taken from the aspect of America wasn't the first to land on the moon, it was the Russians, and it follows that storyline, and it's an
wow,
awesome series. But I don't know. I mean, the thing is, they've done the Predator. Um, they've done quite a few Predators. Looking back to, I wouldn't mind them to redo the A Team, but a bit grittier.
yeah.
I think when they did it, they did the A Team a bit too fluffy.
See, I'll be
Um,
honest with you, man. I've been more into like this the ancient alien shows lately. I was looking at like Project Blue Book. Um,
oh yeah,
there's some pretty cool series on the History Network here in Canada or in
yeah,
North America. I don't know if you guys see that over there. Another movie that I actually was hoping to see. There was a Sopranos movie that was being made,
yeah.
like of Tony Soprano's life, and his son, James Gandolfini's son, was actually in it. And I don't know what happened; just kind of fizzled out, maybe because of this COVID stuff. But that was something I was looking forward to seeing, as I'm a very big Sopranos fan. Have you ever watched that show?
Do you know what? I haven't. I haven't.
Oh
And
man,
you know what? It's really bad because the thing is, I always watch things and get into things late, like Sons of Anarchy. I
yeah,
never watched it until probably the third season in, and then I binge watched it all, and I thought it was amazing. Um, Same with Bad Blood.
yeah, oh
Same
yeah,
with um, with quite
Why
a
don't we
few.
crowdfund money to have a third season of Bad Blood? That's what we should do because I want to see it.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what? I asked Simon Barry, who's the creator and showrunner of Bad Blood, what's happening with it, and it's just on hold. It's just on hold. It's literally they haven't been looking at it because other things have got in the way, and they've been concentrating on other things. But we should have a season 3. We
We should
should.
have 10 seasons of that show.
I
I mean,
know. I know.
you know
We're
what?
coasting that.
What I heard was the service, like, so we have a cable provider here, and that's the one that was casting Bad Blood. And when
Yeah.
they were airing it at the wrong time, which I know, like on City TV at 8 o'clock at nighttime, like nobody watches that channel. But it's a great series. So Netflix wanted to buy it, and the company they're called Rogers, and they have a monopoly over everybody's phones and
Mm.
cable, whatever. They wanted too much money, and that's why Netflix was like, you know what, we'll just take the show, but we won't, produce it. So that's why it's on hold. I think we should do a crowdfund thing, do an independent production of Bad
And get
Blood.
King Oates on board.
Yeah.
Oh my days, he would be awesome. But the thing is, though, I mean, that series is excellent because, of course, season 1 is based on, as real events, and then obviously season 2 they're coming away from that and making it more fictional. But yeah, we need to get more shows like that, because everyone likes a gritty sort of mafia.
Maybe we'll bring another
You
star in to co-star with Kim Coates, somebody who's a bit tougher.
Yeah.
I don't know who it would be, but
we can always do that. We can always do that. But no, do you know what, George? This has been awesome having you on because you know what? We chat all the time, but we
yeah,
never chat face to face. It's always on Messenger. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
And this has been really, really fun. Normally I have trailers ready and everything like that for recent movies, but you know what? Life has been so busy at the moment because we're just going into tier 3, so our COVID level is very high where we live. So it's getting very, very serious, and the local hospitals are getting very, very full. So currently we can't visit other people's households, and we can't do a lot of things, and there's curfews, and we
So
just got to keep.
you're still able to go to work then, right?
Yeah, because I'm classed
Yeah.
as a what they call a key worker, and so is my wife. So we've got to go to work for our jobs.
Yeah.
So even through the lockdowns, we're still going to work. So we've seen it through for the past 6-7 months, and obviously with Christmas coming up, it's quite sad, isn't it? Do you know
Yeah.
what I thought the other day? Wouldn't it be cool if Netflix said, "Do you know what? We're going to give you the month of December on us as a Christmas present, as like an introductory, service." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they always give you the free month at the beginning, right? What if MGM said for this month you can watch James Bond as many times as you want? Yeah. On this
I
service.
strong,
And
I strongly doubt that. I'm sure like a $200 million Christmas present is definitely not on their agenda. But you know what? We never we never know. I'm still excited about Christmas Chronicles 2 on Netflix with Kurt Russell.
yeah,
There's so many great Christmas movies coming up.
I'm trying to
And
get
today,
Chevy Chase to come on my show. I'm just like,
oh,
berating the guy with messages on every point of his life. It's like, hey, I'm also trying to get Daniel Stern on my show from Home Alone as well. Uh,
right?
Marv. I'm just trying to find the best way to contact him, and it's like that's the whole thing. We've come up with so many cool ideas on this in the show. We have the Bad Blood reboot. We have
Yeah,
MGM's Netflix extravaganza. See,
yeah,
if anyone listening to this, they'd probably be like, you know what, let's start taking some notes. These guys have good ideas.
yeah,
But yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. Like I know my podcast, Meet Me for Coffee. I was doing another show before, but Meet Me for Coffee, it happened by accident, to be honest. And
yeah,
it's all happened during this pandemic at the very beginning, in March. And look how far we've come. and you come too, right? Like
Mm, definitely,
it's a great
definitely.
opportunity for other people to check out other podcasts, like I mentioned before. Um, you
Mm.
know, during this time around the world, I know India is very big into podcasts now, and that's another market
Yeah.
that we're trying to tap as well. But yeah, Be More
Do you
Super
know what? Have
podcast.
you do you know on the chartables, what is the most obscure country that you've been in the top 10?
Well, I was in top 10 in Cyprus, which is
That's
which
that's not obscure. That's cool.
that's where my
Fine,
family's
okay.
from.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
where I used to live.
yeah, I know. I think the most obscure one was like India or Italy or something like that. It's like
Mm.
what? Like, uh,
Yeah,
I don't, I
mine
don't, I
mine
don't.
w
Go ahead. What was yours?
Zimbabwe.
What? I don't
I
understand
was
how.
like, I can imagine people in Zimbabwe listening to my voice. I think it's the most bizarrest thing, and in the top 10, I was in the top 10 for New Zealand, which
Wow.
all them sheep and lambs just listening away to my podcast.
Yeah, you know what?
Obviously,
A lot of the startable stuff. To be honest with you, like I look at it, but it all just matters about the content we put out there, and like the
yeah,
rankings and whatever don't matter because um,
yeah,
pretty much it. To be top 10 in Italy, yeah, it's great, or India, or Canada, which is great. It's my home turf. I've had like a top 100 podcast in the United States, which is
yeah.
crazy. Um, but yeah, like it's such a great opportunity for a lot of us to get our names out there and do what we love and
Mm.
interview people that we actually love talking to. Like,
Yes,
you know,
yes.
CJ Graham was unreal. There's one guy that kind of stands out for me. Well, Kim Coates, but there's also the
Mm.
Michael Mando. Actually, did I ever tell you the story about Michael Mando?
No, go on.
So we're watching Better Call Saul. And I was like, I've seen this guy before. I should try and get him on my show. So I go on Facebook to see that he has like a fan page. And I'm Michael Mando. And then, like, I guess we're friends. We're friends on Facebook for like the last like 3 or 4 years. So I just called him. And it's like, so we're friends on Facebook? Yeah. Like, so I guess we met a long, long time ago. So
Yeah.
it's so weird how things happen, And so he ended up coming on my show, and it was very cool because this guy, he's supposed to be the Scorpion in all the Marvel movies. Although there was rumors of him playing Carnage. I know he's in France right now. I don't know why.
Mm.
He won't say anything. I asked
You need
him,
to call him.
"What's that?"
You need to call him.
We should
Call
buzz
him
him in
now,
now.
live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
answer the
yeah. If only it
phone.
had that feature. Yeah.
So you reached my messages or my voice box with Michael Mando. Hey, what are you doing? Yeah, but he's a great guy, man. It's somebody you should get on your show.
Yeah.
Fantastic individual and very respectful, and he has a great story. He's a musician, a fantastic musician. Uh, what's an interview for you that has stood out in Be More Super?
Interview for me that stood out that um do you know what? I think personally for me it was Jane Seymour.
Jane Seymour, yeah,
Only because as a fan of Somewhere in Time has been fantastic. And then, I can go down the list like Steve Guttenberg, which he was awesome to chat with. Um and I've got so many that I absolutely love, and I just think are fantastic. I have had some that literally are a bit. I weren't that pleased with, but you know, eh, it can happen, can't it? To the best of us. But no. Before we wrap this lovely live stream, I've just got a bit of housekeeping to do. I don't know if you're aware of this, George, but Prop Store having an auction on December the 1st and the 2nd, and they've got some amazing props. They've got like a lightsaber from Star Wars, Tom Cruise's jacket from Top Gun. They've got an alien head. They've got absolutely tons. It's like 100 lots over two days. So if anyone wants to take part, go on to propstore.com, register, and you can buy the catalog, or you can see the catalog through PDF on their website. So get on there. It's going to be an absolute brilliant auction on the 1st and the 2nd, and that's London time, So unfortunately, it's not in LA. They did the last one in LA. Also, just a quick shout for everyone that the Life After the Navigator documentary is still available to pre-order. That goes out on the 9th of December, and it's streaming as well nationwide. It's a brilliant documentary, George. It's absolutely amazing. For any fans of Flight of the Navigator, Lisa Downs, who is the director of the documentary, she did an amazing job, and I was given early access to the documentary to view it, and I just think it's fantastic.
Wow.
So if you pre-order the Blu-ray, you get a lovely woven badge as well that says "Life After the Navigator Crew," which is awesome. So yeah, so that's my housekeeping done, letting everyone know what is going on. And obviously, to everyone, please follow George on Instagram, podcast MMFC. And your podcast is available literally everywhere that podcasts are available. Am I right?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, like that's what we pay these services for, to distribute us to Spotify, and sometimes at first I was getting upset because I couldn't find myself on Apple Podcasts, but now I can. But yeah, Apple Podcasts, Google, even YouTube. I'm trying to ramp up the YouTube channel as I'm going to be posting a lot of my stuff out there. I know on my Facebook fan page or page for the podcast, it's actually facebook.com/MMFC podcast, and same a handle for Twitter as well.
Mm-hmm.
On the Facebook page, I preview a lot of the videos, but I set them up for screenings, right? On the YouTube page, though, I have them up like a couple days in advance. So there's a sweetener for you if you like rock stars, entrepreneurs, and people in entertainment. I'm the North American source for that, and Bryan is the guy across the pond for that. So it's kind of cool to be on the show, man. It's a pretty cool format. I'd love to do it again. Of course, talk more Borat. Maybe have Sacha Baron Cohen on one day and see if we can do impressions.
Who knows? We can have a challenge on trying to get guests on this live stream. Let's see the bizarrest guests we can get. But just quickly as well, obviously you can follow Be More Super the podcast on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube. And again, both of our shows on YouTube, they can be quite easily found by just putting the name of the show, which is awesome. So we're going to end the show there. Everyone keep safe out there, keep healthy, and hopefully this will blow over as quick as it can. George, thank you so much for your time, and it was great chatting, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, and don't worry, soon we'll be on the beaches of Cyprus once again, Bryan. Don't worry.
Oh, Iron Apple, here we come.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Take care.
See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.